Do you want to share a chocolate bar? Yes or no? It is not a trick question. You either do or you don't. That's your decision. Hi, I'm Dr. Mo, your host of The Basics with Dr. Mo. Do you consent to share that chocolate bar? Consent, noun, permission for something to happen or agreement to do something.
It shouldn't be that hard of a question because it should be really self-explanatory.
It's very simple, but it's also very complicated.
And I think it's important to get like a verbal like response, not just a oh yeah, I assume.
Consent is just both people saying yes, and that's really it.
Yes, 2 yeses. That's all it takes. This is what consent does not look like.
Like sometimes women will be into it and then like a little bit into it, they'll be like, never mind, I don't want to do it. Like they'll have that, like something will go through their head and they'll just be like, never mind, I don't want to do it. But you know, in the man's head, it's already like, she wants it, so.
If someone says no, don't be pushy, don't feel, I know a huge issue with people is like they feel obligated to say yes. And to me, that isn't consent. Like if you're pushing someone and saying, oh, but why not? Like, but you're teasing me, like this, that, and the girl's like, fine. Like that's not even consent in my opinion.
I mean, like in general, like you really can't consent when you're drunk at all. So like it's a very tricky situation, especially if something does go wrong, because it's like he said, she said, like pointing fingers, that kind of blame.
Well, it actually came up because we were watching Bachelor in Paradise, and they had this conversation with Corinne, and she was saying that she was under the influence, she was drunk and she was under the influence of prescription medication, and so she blacked out. But at the time, she appeared very aware. And so she was saying, I don't think anyone was in the wrong because she was consenting, or she thinks she consented. And I mean, it's hard because that was on a show, there were producers involved and everything. But like, that's the thing is like, you can't automatically say that when someone is drunk, they're not giving consent, because a lot of people do it. People do it all the time. So it's so hard.
It's illegal to force someone to have sex. That's called rape. It's also illegal to have sex with someone who is too drunk to consent to sex. That's also called rape. But many people go out to drink to meet people to have sex with. How can you tell if someone is too drunk to consent? Actually, the process of consent may be able to help people figure it out.
I feel like consent should be asked throughout, like beginning, middle, and end.
Personally, for me, consent is something that's ongoing, vocal, and like not just like a one time, like we say is the beginning, and then like it means yes for everything.
If you start, kind of set a precedent by like asking, is this okay? Do you like this? I guess other ways to implicitly ask for consent maybe are like, do you have a condom? Or do you want, I mean, that's not implicit. Do you want to keep doing this? Like that's very explicitly asking for consent. And I think that there's ways to make it, it's not awkward. It doesn't have to be this weird, like sign a form and, you know, I need to hear like all these answers, but I do think that there's easy little ways, just like, hey, is this cool? Do you like this?
Is it a clean, clear solution? No, of course not. What if we define consent not as a contract, but as an ongoing process? You have to check in before you move on. It doesn't have to be awkward or formal, just clear. If one of you can't check in, party over. The ability to consent is gone. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to all of the women who share their stories. We couldn't do this without you. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share The Basics with Dr. Mo, because you deserve to know. Thanks for watching.